friends, and welcome to another episode of Momo Makes. I'm your girl Momo. I do DIYs, upcycles, and sewing projects. As you know, I love prints.
Anybody wanna fall in love tonight?
Yeah, I love prints, but that's not what I meant. I love prints, like prints. I think prints really cheer you up. I'm a huge fan of complex floral and geometric prints, and I've been wanting to make a mixed print blouse for a while now. Every time I walk into an Anthropologie store, my senses are delighted by the explosion of color and prints. And in this project, I'm making an Anthro-inspired mixed print shirt. I believe I have looked at enough Anthropologie blouses to figure out the perfect formula for print mixing. I'm going to share with you my formula hack for mixing the prints, and we are going to make a mixed print blouse. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and let's get started. For inspiration, I started by putting together a mood board, and I came up with a formula for the aesthetic of a mixed print garment. The choice of prints, color, and scale is extremely important when you go looking for prints to mix. I think a good combination calls for a bold geometric animal print. This brings an element of whimsy and fun to the garment. Second, you need to look for a ditzy floral print. This brings an element of fun and joy to the design. And third, you need to find a monochromatic geometric print. This can be in any color, black and white, red and yellow, but it has to pull from the two colors that are available inside the prints that you chose. This element will balance out the visual clash that the other two prints are presenting. So I took a trip to Joann's, and after a few hours of contemplation, these are the prints that I picked out. I picked out this lovely zebra print in coral, the perfect animal theme print that I could find, and I picked out this lovely floral yellow. In place of the geometric monochrome, I subbed this black and white daisy print, and I think it's going to work out really well because the black and white is also present in the zebra print. To modify the pattern, I'm starting out with the basic pattern block. This is the back block, and I'm using my standard pattern in my standard size. I'm going to first duplicate it so I can modify and cut to form a yoke blouse. For the back piece, I'm going to start measuring from the highest point on the neck and measure about 5 inches on the back. This is going to be the line where the yoke of the blouse is going to lie. So I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to extend it a little further so that I can put a box pleat in the back. The box pleat is going to be made along the center back line. I'm tracing around the pattern block and curving the bottom hem. I marked about 1 inch from the center line to mark the position of the box pleat and cut out the pattern so I can modify the yoke further. I'm going to cut around the sleeve curve and then separate the yoke from the back piece. So this forms the foundation of the blouse. I'm marking and checking the center back pleat position. This is going to be the position of the pleat right in the middle. With that, the back pattern modification is completed. Repeating the same steps on the front pattern, I'll start with tracing the front pattern to make the modification. I'm marking 5 inches from the highest point on the shoulder for the position of the yoke. I'm extending the front piece about 1 inch to the side over here. This is to add some pleats at the bust right here. I'm marking the position of the pleats at 3 inches from the center line. So it's going to be 3 inches from here. I want to make this blouse with a front placket opening. For this, I am going to mark the position of the placket down the middle. With the pattern complete, I can start cutting out the blouse pieces. I am making the front of the blouse with the zebra print fabric. For this, I'm going to lay the front pattern piece onto the fabric and cut out the front piece. I'm transferring all the pattern marks onto the fabric as well, including the position and size of the front placket. I'm using the zebra print for the back as well, but in this case I'm introducing a yellow floral pattern as a wide strip down the middle, just for some contrast. So I'm going to cut out the zebra print for the sides and about 4-inch strip of yellow floral fabric, where this is to go in the middle of the back. You can skip this part if you're satisfied with the print placement that you have. The sleeve pattern does not require any modification, so no change there. We will use it as it is. I'm keeping all the cut fabric and the pattern pieces together, so when I go to the assembly step, it is easier for me to figure out which pattern goes where. I cut out the sleeves from the yellow print. The yoke and the sleeve cuff pieces are going to be cut from this monochrome floral daisy print fabric. This is my substitution for the geometric print formula. I'm cutting out about 2-inch wide strips for the sleeve cuffs. Next, I'm going to place the yoke pattern and cut out one front piece and one back yoke piece. If you have lightweight fabric like voile or chiffon, you can choose to do a double layer here, but since I'm using quilting cotton, it's quite heavy, and if I do a double layer, the shirt is going to be too heavy and stiff, so I'm just doing a single layer. I also cut 2 strips for the plackets. I'm transferring all the marks nicely, so when I join the pieces together, I don't have any confusions or mistakes, but I did make a huge mistake, which I'm going to share with you so you don't make it. Let's review all the pieces one more time. We have the front piece, which is the zebra print, 2 placket strips, which are going to be the geometric print. We have 2 sleeves in yellow and 2 yokes in geometric black print. I think I'm very happy with the layout so far, and we're ready for the sewing and assembly. To start, we're going to first form the bust pleats. For this, I had marked the position of the gathers right onto the fabric. I basted that area and pulled the threads to form the gathers for the bust pleats and adjusted the tension until the main body pattern lined up perfectly with the yoke piece. Then I sewed the pleated bodice piece to the yoke. Next, we're going to repeat the same for the back. Here, I joined the 2 zebra print pieces together with the floral yellow strip in the middle and pinned the box pleat into position using the markings as the guide. Then I sewed the pleated back piece onto the yoke. Before we finish the neckline, we are going to make the front placket. For this, I'm going to need 2 strips of the geometric black print, about 3 inches wide, and fold it in half. These are going to be sewn one on top of each other like that, and I'm going to place them right in the middle. These are going to be sewn on top of each other to form an overlap for the placket opening. I'm going to place them on top of the placket marking on the bodice with folded ends facing away. I've serged the edges close to minimize loose threads. When I'm satisfied with the positioning, I'm going to pin them in place, and I'm going to draw the shape of the placket rectangle right on the strips. This is where I will sew them to the blouse. Then I'm going to cut the front slit and turn the fabric strips inside, forming the shape of the placket. However, I made a mistake in this step. Can you spot the mistake? I'll tell you what it is. Well, I sewed the strips to the wrong side of the fabric. So the strips should be sewn onto the right side of the fabric, and so when you sew over them and you turn them inside, the stitched edges are on the inside, not on the outside. So anyway, I paused the camera at this point, kicked myself for making the rookie mistake, and seam ripped the entire placket again and did it all over again the right way. Well, you know what? It's okay to make mistakes and live and learn. Every time you make something new, you learn something new. That's how it goes. I'm top stitching with a white thread to give it some contrast. Once that is done, we are ready to assemble the blouse. I'm going to stitch the front and back at the shoulder seams. Then I'm placing the sleeve along the curve of the sleeve hole and pin them in place and sew them. Repeat the same process on the other sleeve. Once both the sleeves are attached, I'm going to start closing the sides by starting from the bottom hem of the blouse up to the armhole, around and down the sleeve, ending at the cuff. Repeat the same process on the other side, and the blouse structure is now complete. I'm keeping the cuffs very simple with the floral strips forming the cuff accent. For this, I'm going to attach these strips to the end of the sleeves, turn them and top stitch them with a white thread. And I'm going to add elastic to give the sleeves a cinched look. Moving on to the neckline, I'm going to first cut the depth of the front neckline since the placket is now completed. I marked and cut it at 4 inches, and I'm going to finish the neckline with this light blue bias binding tape. I'm going to first sew the binding tape, leaving some extra dangling on the sides. Then I'm going to notch and slash around the curve of the neckline, and I'm going to flip the bias tape over, folding to make a nice finished mitered corner at the placket, and top stitch to finish the neckline. As a final step, I'm going to finish the bottom hem. I tried on the blouse and I felt like it was way too long, so I cut the length 25 inches and finished it with a simple rolled hem. For the front closure, I sewed in some snap buttons and my mixed print blouse is now complete. So there you have it. I hope you like the mixed print blouse and I hope that you get inspired to find the perfect prints and start making a mixed print blouse yourself. I hope that you like the simple pattern modifications that we did today. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. I make videos pretty much every week. I had a wonderful time hanging out with you today. I hope you did as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support and I'll see you in the next video. Here's the reveal. If you like this video, I have a feeling that you're going to like this one next. Please do check it out.